Hi students, and welcome to today's lesson in Academic Literacy 2 for Term 1, the date Monday the 15th of March 2021. A quick recap on the previous lesson. The previous lesson we looked at the importance or the elements within communication and the importance of language and what purpose it serves. We also looked at the difference between data and information. We looked at the two types of data that you can collect and the reasons for collecting them in terms of the advantages and disadvantages between primary data and secondary data. We also looked at academic sources of information and noted that Facebook, Twitter, U magazines are not sources of academic information that you can use within research assignments. Then we also looked at the standard or template for research assignments, the structure that it follows. Then we looked at the difference between subjective and objective, the one stemming from emotion and the other one stemming from logic. And finally, we then looked at the importance and inevitability of drafts, and that your first typed assignment is not the perfect one and it needs to go through a review and preview process with spelling check, grammar, removing of unnecessary sentences, facts, changing subjective to objective before you get your final product. And then last week's assignment, you had to click on the Google form link and provide two fresh and controversial topics in education. Today's lesson, we're going to start off by looking at some legal issues. Okay, so maybe you've heard of the word copyright and you're unfamiliar with that regarding CDs or movies. Now, copyright also applies to academic research in terms of ideas and words that are written by other researchers that you wish to use in your assignment. Now, copyright means that the person that created or done the research has the right to make copies or use the words that are written in there in its original form. And plagiarism is when you take those words, put them in the exact same manner, and present them as your own ideas without acknowledging the other author or the originator. Now, even though you acknowledge them, you cannot copy their words word for word. You have to understand it or read it first, understand it, and then put it in your own words. So there are certain areas which you cannot summarize or put into your own words, and you have to take it directly from that paper. But there's a certain percentage that you are allowed to use the exact same words of somebody else, right? And we'll discuss that more in detail in another lesson. So for today, for this section of work, you need to understand that the articles that you read or the books that you take out of the library for your assignments has copyright, meaning that the author has the right to use those words, and that if you wish to use it and not commit plagiarism in terms of copy and paste, and this is very famous, even if you take it from Google, you just highlight, copy, paste, and put it in your assignment and put your name there, and you're proud of yourself as if you did the work. That is illegal, and it will not be tolerated or accepted within your assignments that you submit. So, to avoid plagiarism, we're going to look at three areas in which you are allowed to make use of another author's work, and that is known as quotes or quotations, summaries, or paraphrasing. Now, quotations, that is when somebody says something so profound that you cannot change the words. Even if you do change the words, it does not make the same, it does not have the same meaning. So quotations mean that you would like to use the exact same words to bring across the exact same message or idea. So you would use double quotation marks, okay? And that you will find on your keyboard right next to the colon next to the L button, right, on the keyboard. Those are your double quotation marks that you will use. So I'll show you an example of this soon. A summary is if there are more than one article that you use and all the articles are saying the same thing and you wish to summarize it. So a summary is basically taking a very long story of somebody and writing it over in your own words, but still maintaining the idea. All right. So you're not losing what the author was actually trying to say. So you don't change the meaning, but you just summarize the full long story into the key points. So if you look here, summarize, SUM, sum. It is shorter than the text. You use your own words and you only use the main ideas. So if this is you and you have all these different assignments or papers that you're using, you will only look for the main ideas and write it in your own words. Here's a cool video on YouTube, which I will not play now. You can play it in your own time. That will help you understand the differences between quotations, summaries, and paraphrasing. Please take a minute and have a look. Here's the example I told you about. So if we look at this quotation from Nelson Mandela regarding education, these are very few words that if you change it, you might change the meaning. So what we do is we use the double quotation mark at the beginning and we use the double quotation mark at the end. And the full stop is inside of the quotation because it's part of this sentence. And these words were the exact words that Nelson Mandela used regarding education. So this will be a quote. Taking a direct quote and integrating it into your paper. A direct quote should be enclosed with or in quotation marks. That's at the beginning, at the end. Now, a paraphrase, that is when you are expressing a short passage in your own words. So if you use this quotation over here and you don't wish to give the direct words that Mandela has used, you could paraphrase this and change the order of the words but not lose its meaning. So paraphrasing involves completely rewriting the passage while retaining or keeping the meaning. So even though you change the words, you are still bringing across the exact same meaning that Nelson Mandela did regarding education. Now, a summary, that is when there is a long piece of work. So it is a longer piece of article. So it was Mandela, it was other people that also spoke about education, and you are summarizing what all of them said by maintaining the keywords and main ideas but still not losing the intention of the article. So even though you are changing it, you are still keeping to the same idea. So a quote, direct words, paraphrase is a short passage that you write in your own words, and a summary is a longer passage which you take out only the main ideas but still keep the meaning. And in that way, you will avoid committing plagiarism, where you are stealing other people's ideas, writing it in the exact same words, and not putting quotation marks or even referencing them, right? And because they have the copyright, so no copy and paste. In a later lesson, I'll show you how we can actually pick up if you did copy and paste. So don't try it. Next, let's have a look at who is all involved in research. So immediately it will be you. You are the researcher, right? So you are the one conducting all the research, reading up on all the material that you are gathering regarding your topic, right? And you will be presenting this to who? To two people. You are presenting it firstly to the reader or your audience. Now, these are people that knows absolutely nothing about your topic. So you need to write it up in such a logical manner that you can make somebody that has no idea of your topic actually understand what you are talking about and what your message is at the end of your assignment. And then the third person will be your examiner, the one that actually checks that you have not plagiarized work, you have used quotation marks correctly, you have laid out your document in the correct manner that complies with academic research, and your audience is just basically getting the message after your examiner has approved your presentation or assignment. So these are the three people involved in research. Now, with last week's assignment on Google Forms, you had to provide two topics, right? Two areas within education that you feel is exciting and it's fresh and it's new. So we are not looking at things like teenage pregnancy or same-sex schools. Those are old topics. We want new ones. But when you have this topic or theme, you need to generate ideas. So either on a piece of paper with a pen or a pencil, you are drawing a mind map. Now, in front of you, you can see a mind map. In the center, this is my topic, right? Digital marketing. Now, from here, you will branch out into different ideas and start brainstorming through a mind map where your thoughts are going, right? And what do you want to include, or what comes to mind as soon as you write digital marketing? What comes to your mind? So for this mind map, it was paid searches, it was email marketing, social media, and SEOs. From paid search, we looked at Facebook, Bing ads, AdWords, and from AdWords, we looked at different branches within that subsection. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. Then you can look at paid, unpaid. So you will branch off into different areas of thought. Now, all of these might not be included in your research, but you need to get all your ideas out of your brain onto a piece of paper. And that is where you need to start, right? So using a mind map to brainstorm ideas for your research, it may be included or may not be included. So your topic and your theme, we will look at the difference of these now. But before you move on from here, please click on this link and watch a short cool video on the difference between topic and theme. And that will help you understand what you are actually doing in your mind map. Now, to give you a quick understanding between topic, theme, and title, there's a big difference between them. Your topic is usually 2 to 3 words, right? What is your interest? So I'm using this simple example, teenage pregnancy. So teenage pregnancy would be my topic. My theme is what aspect of teenage pregnancy do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on the maternity ward? Do I want to focus on the days that you get off from your college or school? No. For this example, I want to focus on teenage pregnancy that results in less students attending their final examination. So that is my area or my theme within my topic that I'm going to look at. And then from that, I'm going to create a title. So this is my theme, and what problem do I want to look at within this theme? And that will result in your title. So that is basically what your research assignment is about. So my title, for example, would be the 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 impact of teenage pregnancy on retention, which is keeping students at college each year, and pass rate. So this is my title for my research assignment. This is my theme or my aspect within my topic of teenage pregnancy. So this is how your mind must also work regarding your next assignment, which we will discuss soon. So this is a simple layout, and here is a cool video again that you can watch that will give you the differences between topic, theme, and title and how to write them. Now, your introduction and background. This will soon follow your title. Now, if you remember last week's lesson, this we are basically going through the structure, and each week you will be building up towards your final formative assessment, right, at the end of the semester. But each lesson we're going to focus on certain parts of your assignment. So for this week, we're looking at the title, intro, and background, and your mind map. So your introduction and background. What is your paper all about? So the introduction and background is going to tell the reader what the paper is all about, your assignment, what you wish to aim at the end of your paper. So why are you writing this paper? What has been said about your topic? So here you're doing reading. You're checking up on different articles of people that's speaking about your same topic or theme. And where is the gap? So if everybody has said this, where is the gap? That's basically what has people not been saying that you feel is important. And then why is it important to fill this gap? So if we are looking at teenage pregnancy and everybody is talking about it is irresponsible and they shouldn't, this and that. But nobody is talking about the final exams or the results from the final exams, and that teenagers that are pregnant don't come back. So that is the gap. Nobody's talking about it. Then why is it important to fill this gap? Why do we need your research? So basically, if my research is going to look at the pass rates or retention rates, when I'm done with this research, you might be able to say that my research will help improve the retention or pass rates of teenagers that may fall pregnant during the final examinations. So there is a purpose for your research. You can't just do research for no reason. Then your background will also indicate what the reader can expect in your paper. So basically what your paper is about. So what they can expect could be, for example, in chapter 1, we're going to look at the history of teenage pregnancy. Chapter 2, we're going to look at the statistics of final examinations, for example. There are two key rules that you need to remember when you are dealing with information. One sentence, one idea. Do not try and mix up 1,000 ideas into one sentence by just putting a comma and the word and connectors. You are going to lose the audience. Remember, the audience, they have no idea about your topic. So the more you're going to talk and confuse them, the less they are going to be interested in your research. So one sentence, one idea. And one paragraph will equal a group of related ideas. So gather your thoughts, put them in order. And how do you get them in order? By doing your mind map. So there's a very important reason that you do this and that you will be doing this. So one sentence, one idea, one paragraph is a group of related ideas. Now, to help you with structuring your introduction and background, you can click on this link and watch the school video that will help you through that. Here's an example. So this topic was on fruit juices, for example. So the background to the study, has no title. The background is a very general overview. So think of a funnel, right? It starts out broad at the top and it starts getting narrow, narrow, narrow as you're coming down, but it gets more specific. So think of a triangle. Let me just do this for you. Triangle. Think of it like this. There we go. You're starting broad at the top and you building towards this end result, right? What you want out of your paper. But you're starting at the top, brief. So here they are saying there's many juices, for example, this juices, and then they are building it down. There are two types of yeast. So now they're getting a bit more concentrated. Due to the popularity of the juices, it's caught the attention of the researchers. Studies were already done that sunlight, blah, 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 but you see, the but is where the gap is. So studies has already been done on the sunlight or the effect of sunlight, but the following has not been researched. And that's where you come in. If you are going to use journals or books from the library, please, 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 and this will not be repeated again, save all your articles electronically. Make photocopies of the books, or at least the cover of the book and the page number where you got your information. Because in the later lessons, you will need this when we do referencing. So please do not lose any of your work. Keep them in order. Start building your data bank. Your task for this week, part A and part B. Part A, you have to create a mind map. Now remember, in your previous lesson, you had to provide two topics. I would like you to choose one of your topics, right? So I'm going to add that instruction actually on top. Select one of your topics in education, right? So that's your first instruction. And there we go. Let's just put that in red. Right, so you have to take one of your topics that you have provided and create a mind map. So your topic over here and your theme, what aspect of your topic are you going to look at? And then you have to present all your ideas that you feel needs to be included in your topic. Now, your mind map can be drawn on a piece of paper and then you take a picture of it, but you need to write neatly. If I cannot see your work, I cannot mark your work, right? Or you can use your computer literacy knowledge and create a mind map inside of Microsoft Word using shapes. So for example, you will go to Insert, Shape, use a simple block, and you will put in your theme over there, and you will then use more blocks to create your branching out of ideas, right? If you get stuck with that, you can just WhatsApp me and I'll assist you to create it electronically. If you're going to write it very neatly, and it must be on one page. So your mind map, your title, and your background must be saved in one document in Microsoft Word. The font you are using is Arial size 12 with 1.5 line spacing. Your title must be no less than 5 words and no more than 10 words. Remember your title? So that's nothing to do with your topic or your theme. Then your introduction and your background must be no less than 280 words and no more than 300 words. If you are going to follow this Arial 12 1.5, your introduction and background with your title should be no more than 1.5 to 2 pages maximum. Anything over that, go and recheck your word count. Please ensure to save all your work to hard drives, flash drives, to the cloud, or through email, but please do not lose your work. So you are basically creating a mind map with your topic and your theme, which you choose one of. Then generate all the ideas that you feel is necessary to include, written very neatly or typed up, which I prefer, the typed one. Then part B, you are now starting to create draft number 1. Draft 1, I would like to see your title of your assignment, and I would like to see the introduction and background of your assignment. And please follow these instructions at the bottom so that you can be guided in terms of how to complete your assignment. Your task won't be checked, but if you are not complying with your work and you leave your work to the last minute or you don't do it at all, this will result in an overflow and overwhelm of work, and it will build up towards your final assessment. So please, you are given enough time with very little work in between to complete and considering your other subjects. So there would be no excuse towards not submitting your work. So please be responsible and play your part. Right, that's the end for today's lesson. Thank you very much for attending. I look forward to receiving any of your queries that you may have for this week's lesson. And your task which is to be kept and saved until our next lesson, where I will carry on and you continue building up towards your final assessment. Right, remember, solution before problems or excuses. That's it for now. Thank you. Bye.